I don't know if Kathleen Kennedy was locked in the closet. I don't know if she had called out sick that day and they shot the whole thing while she was at home. I have no idea how they got this version of a Star Wars show to be greenlit. One of my most recent favorite Star Wars projects was probably Star Wars Rogue One. But to be completely honest, after that movie ended, didn't really think there was any way to go back to this universe, this world of Star Wars that they built in that movie, and have it be at all that intriguing or interesting or even really worth watching. That being said, when they released the first trailer for Andor, my opinions changed completely. And after seeing the first few episodes of Andor on Disney Plus, I'm happy to say that it feels like Star Wars is finally starting to build some positive momentum. But one of the most interesting things about Andor right off the bat, at least to me, is that it feels like it's really challenging the Star Wars fan base to see how accepting they are of a different type of Star Wars story. Rogue One sort of dipped its toe into the idea of, will people watch a Star Wars project that doesn't have lightsaber fights in it? Andor is taking that idea and going even further. If they did not attach the Star Wars name to the title of the show, you would have no idea that this show has anything to do with the Star Wars world. Diego Luna, who was phenomenal in Rogue One, is back. He is leading this story, and he is incredible in this story as well. One of the reasons why I really like him being the focus of a project like this is that in Rogue One, we saw a much more seasoned and experienced version of Cassian. And in this show, as we take things back just a little bit before those events of Rogue One, we're seeing basically the rookie version of Cassian. Way less experienced, way less confident, and significantly more reckless with what he's doing. And I think it is worth noting that what he is fighting for at the beginning of this show and what he ends up fighting for in Rogue One shows you just how far this character comes over the course of this TV show and that film. Now, in addition to Diego Luna being absolutely incredible in this show, the show also looks fantastic. I am a huge cinematography nerd, and from a cinematography standpoint, there are some absolutely stunningly beautiful shots in this show, especially in episode 3. There are multiple shots in that episode that feel like they are a painting, that feel like they should be hung in a museum. It is an absolutely beautiful looking show, but what's important about those types of shots and that sort of cinematography in a project like this is that it shows you that the people behind it care about the quality. They care about how it looks and how it feels to watch it and if it's immersive, and the cinematography absolutely pulls you in to this type of show. Now, like I said at the beginning, this is not your typical Star Wars story. This show is potentially the darkest possible version of anything that we have seen take place in the Star Wars universe. And I think that that's fantastic. For a long time, a lot of Disney projects, including Marvel and Star Wars, have felt either very formulaic or generally just very safe. The last time I really remember Star Wars taking a risk was with the ever divisive Star Wars Episode 8. One of the interesting things about Andor is that it kind of feels like what Rian Johnson attempted to do in Episode 8, sort of steering the franchise into a new direction with new stories following different characters and decisions being made that you may not have seen before. That's what Andor feels like it's trying to do. This is a show that is not afraid to take Star Wars into a far more serious and dark direction than we have ever seen. Now, on that note, I will say this show is very slow. These first 3 episodes are a massively slow build to what I think, after what we'll just call part 1 of this series, these first 3 episodes, I think the finale here is a massive payoff, and I think it's really well done. If you are someone who is looking for a bunch of people to start throwing each other around with the Force or shooting blasters back and forth or a bunch of space dogfights, that's not what this show is. They are telling a much more concise and focused story, and it doesn't really involve a lot of the stuff that most of us fans of Star Wars are used to seeing. So I can totally understand if some people do not like Andor, if they are not a fan of this direction to take something in the Star Wars universe. I think that this is really exciting because it shows that Star Wars is finally building some positive momentum. I have no idea how they got this version of a Star Wars show to be greenlit. I don't know if Kathleen Kennedy was locked in the closet. I don't know if she had called out sick that day and they shot the whole thing while she was at home. But it is so exciting to see a Star Wars project that is actually taking itself incredibly seriously. And it feels like momentum that was built up with a show like The Mandalorian is finally being carried forward by another show that takes this world seriously and isn't afraid to explore stories that normally would not end up making it out of the writer's room. If you're someone who enjoyed Rogue One, I think you're really going to enjoy what they're doing with a show like Andor. If you're someone who did not like Rogue One, this might be a bit of a tough sell. That being said, it's important for franchises like Star Wars to not be afraid to start to branch out of what they normally do. And stuff like this and The Mandalorian and a lot of the animated things that Dave Filoni's been working on is incredibly exciting. As a fan of a franchise that has certainly felt a little bit over the last several years like it's started to lose its way. It feels like a show like Andor and taking a chance like this, and so far it's paying off. Hopefully they stick the landing. The fact that they're not afraid to take a chance like this, a show with little to no fan service, a show that is telling its own story, I am so excited to see where Andor goes, and I'm excited to see where it takes a Star Wars franchise as a whole. Thanks for watching.